And there we are, live, and we can arrange the others. Okay, let me just click a few things, and let's wait out for our friends to join in as well. I think I've also prompted some of my other friends to see if they are available to join in. I had some LinkedIn responses saying that they want to have a look at that. So let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting to see. Already a few guys are with us, so that is fairly interesting. Thank you guys for being early. We are going to start at 9, so I'm going to give everyone else here to sort of ease in, be comfortable, get your mugs together. We call this a coffee chat. Yeah, a casual conversation.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean everyone's been through quite a fair bit throughout the day. I think because today is still working day, so most of us here are still hustling. And if you're hustling, I think that's a great thing because it means you got a job. It means you got work to do.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
A lot of people are also like, some they can't really see what's going to happen in the near future because some of the contracts and all those things are, on hold and all. But then, everybody's hustling, like, do the best you can at this time.
Yeah. Wow, we have we do have a fair bit of audience with us. So do say hi. We're already at 9 o'clock. Want you to just say hi to us so that we know that you are here with us as well. And yeah, please say hi in the comments so that we can acknowledge you. We can give you a shout out as well. And even if you're shy, just say hi. Yeah, it's okay. No problem with that. We're here just to really chill out and enjoy this evening. It's one of my favorite topics as well. Professional social networking, and I've gotten a good friend here who is a professional social networker as well. And I'll let him explain a little bit more about this. So help me welcome Vyasa here, who has done a fantastic job in the professional professional network itself. Right, Vyasa, say hi to our
Jeffro.
friends.
Hey, hello, friends, friends of Jeffro. Thanks, Jeffro, for having me here tonight. It's good to be on your show. Yeah, so I'm looking forward for a great coffee chat tonight. And friends, if you want to, just say hello or comment anything, just ask me anything that you would like to ask regarding, the topics today. I'll be happy to answer. Okay.
All right, fantastic. Now, so Vyasa, for our friends here, could you just give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Okay. My name is Vyasa. Okay, and I'm quite active in LinkedIn. A little bit more active in LinkedIn than in Facebook. But again, during this MCO, we are in all the platforms as usual. I run a training company called CAD Training Centre. It's based in Bandar Puteri, Puchong. We deal with things like Excel, AutoCAD, Microsoft Project, data analytics, and then all the different human resource, admin skills, and all, and also IT subjects lah. So a little bit more on computer-based trainings, and yeah, it's more towards that. And I think Jeffro here today spoke to me on this topic. It's a little bit more towards the social networking aspect of running a business. Am I right, Jeffro?
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's for me. I personally believe it's a important thing whether you are running a business or you're in a business of people or you're just basically a working professional.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Social networking, yeah, as we go on along today, and we'll explore more on this, it's important for everybody, like, whether you're, running a business, whether you are in the corporate side climbing up, or you're a new graduate, going to looking for a job, and also even younger people who are actually undergraduates. It's good to be exposed to your networks right now itself. You don't have to wait till you're looking for a job or in the corporate side to start on this.
Yeah, I totally agree. And for those of you here who have just joined us, say hi to all of us. We have Sui saying hi, Vyasa, and to me as
Hey,
well. Hey,
hi,
Sui.
Sui. Hi, how are you?
Right, great. So that was a really short and sweet introduction, and I think a lot of you who are joining us here today, if you like this topic, I would encourage you to ask a lot of questions, share your insights, your thoughts about it as well, or even your concerns when it comes to social networking. The one thing that I want to address is to tell everyone here, this is the best time to do so. But I don't want you to just hear it from me. I want you to also hear it from Vyasa, who has actually been doing quite a number of interviews in the past 6-8 weeks of the MCO. So before we go into that, just want to know, Vyasa, seeing that we've gone through several weeks of MCO right now, what was the impact for you back then, and how have you been adapting so far?
Okay, so for me, I'm running a training company, right? So in fact, all training companies officially you can't do any trainings immediately because there's a lot of the social aspect. You got to be in close proximity with everybody, right? So you can't. You just it's just out of the possibility. You don't have the possibility of doing a training. Okay, it's still during the CMCO. It's still not possible yet to do the trainings. But then again, we have all shifted to online trainings. So right now, a lot of things we have been doing. At the beginning, it was, just like, it was going, there's just picking up a lot of trainings were just picking up. It's just for all trainers, right? And then suddenly in March, after this MCO was announced, straight away it's zero, drop down to zero. And this goes across the board to everybody. Okay, no exceptions there. And then then people were all figuring out, even though if you talk about online trainings and all those things, people are still not ready yet because they are all also getting used to this whole MCO thing, staying at home, working from home, what to do from work, what to do from home. They're just getting used to. Everybody is like just panic, and then there's a huge change of mindset. So now people are starting to do trainings again, and then we have been already conducting trainings. Been conducting trainings for the last 3 weeks already, online trainings lah. Again, that poses new challenges lah. Being online, being the whole day, being active, being engaged, and all that. Those are new challenges, but everybody's learning. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I mean, the new challenges are a real thing. And for those of you here, I think some of you might even relate to it. Internet problem, technology
Oh
failures.
yeah. Like now.
Yeah, you're fading back into your background.
Yeah. It's some of the things, the lighting is changing and all.
Well, I
Yeah.
get that some of the times, but it's very interesting. I still like the background that you have. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, so that you mentioned, now people are already going more online. Are there
Right.
more people online right now as compared to like a couple of weeks ago?
You're talking about in the social medias, or are you
Yeah,
talking about like online trainings?
social media contacts.
Okay. I think the first thing whenever there's a panic or some situation, example election or something's changing in a big way, everybody rushes to the social media to get info. Okay, so social media is being crowded. In fact, those who have not been active have been studying to be active in social media. People are spending more time on social media. I think, like it or not, is just a norm. Okay, this is one of the new norms lah. Because when you're at home, you have some time to actually look at the social media. So there's always an increase in social media consumption. All right. So then again, there are people who are mildly active, and then now they're becoming more active. People who have been very shy, just posting a bit. Now they're already doing videos and all. So it's interesting times, lah. We can see a lot of changes in social media patterns and all.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. Well, we have Lawrence saying hi as well.
Hi, Lawrence. Hi. How are you doing?
And for those of you here, say hi. Drop us a hello so that we know. Oh, Lauren saying hello, gentlemen. Yes, hi. Okay, fantastic. And we're talking about like social media, and that's where it leads back to our topic, right? Why is it now the best time to actually do social networking, or in our audience context, professional networking?
Okay. Of course, when there's two aspects to social networking, right? People are very active in social media, so a lot of people are also consuming media, and then there are a lot of people posting on media. All right. So this is basically being actively consuming and producing lah. I would say this is not really connecting to social media, or it's not really called social media connection as you put it, right? This is more of consuming and producing media. So there I can see a lot of posts, and a lot of people are quietly watching, what you're posting and all, right? So there are also a lot of what you say passive people who are actually just consuming. There's nothing wrong about this, okay? But when we're talking about today's topic, which is actually social networking, right, as you aptly put, right,
Yeah.
that's a different thing altogether. So there's many ways of connecting in social media. So number one is of course, like you can post things. That's just one. That's not really connecting yet. That's just putting out media, putting out posts. You're just being visible. Okay, so that's one part of it, being visible. The second part is, so let's say if you posting something, Jeffro, so then what I would do is, if I start commenting on yours, on your post and all that, and just say, hey, Jeffrey, that's a nice article that you just wrote, it's very thoughtful, what do you think about this and all? So now I'm starting to connect with you. So
Right.
that
Okay.
is actually the next level of connecting lah. So it's not just producing, it's not just watching, it's not just being passively observing. It's a little bit more. So now you're starting to connect, and so of course, when I say something like that, you will want to comment back again, right? So when I comment and then you comment, we are already starting to connect. So that is actually the first level of connecting or social media networking. We are already starting to connect there. But then we can also leave it as it is and just, okay, that's fine. I say something, hello, hi, and then, you say something and then that's it. But we are not really knowing each other. We don't really know each other. We don't know, what you're doing. We don't know what you believe in. You don't know what's your cause. What you do. I don't know what you're looking for. So that is not really connecting. That is just commenting, and that's just like social. Just hi, bye bye. How's the weather? The weather's nice, and that's it. That's the first level of connecting lah. Of course, in this time is a good time to also connect further, right? There are few levels of connection lah, I would say. The
Okay.
first level is this, okay, connecting like this, right? Just hi, comment and all. The second level is, okay, now I'm following what you're doing. And then the second side is I can actually take one step further. I can actually start, messaging you. Okay, hey, the other day you wrote about this. I found it, very impressive. I thought, you put in a little bit of thought into that. And then here are some of my thoughts. What do you think? Example, right? So now I'm already connecting to you, and then you are connecting now to me again now when you answer a little bit more deeper. So now this thing actually works well in all social media platforms. It starting on Facebook, but generally people in Facebook don't talk about very deep stuff unless sometimes they message each other, because Facebook is a very very social place. People post about food, they rant about politics, they rant about the boss sometimes, they rant about the work, and sometimes, pictures, selfies, dancers and all that. So it's just a place for, anything goes, right? It's a real social place. It's like a, mama place. So, you just chill out there. You don't go and talk about serious stuff there, right? In Facebook. But then again, in LinkedIn, is slightly different, because in LinkedIn, it's generally not really accepted to put things like food pictures or selfies. It's not really a big welcome thing there. People are looking for more serious content, content about yourself. For example, if Jeffro peak performance or people performance, we want to know a little bit more. What is it about? Who are the people you have helped? What are some of the case studies and all? So there we can comment on this one and ask a little bit more and say, oh, okay, now I know Jeffro is in this area, he's doing this kind of stuff, and he's also serving people in this way and helping to solve some issues and all. So we get to know you a little bit better. So Facebook, although it's very social, people don't really know each other in that place. For example, like we have been active on Facebook and all, and after like so many years, some friends are still asking me, "Hey, Vyasa, what do you really do?"
I get that as well. I get
Yeah,
that.
so because we don't really talk a lot about our work life or our corporate life or our business life in Facebook, is you don't it's too serious for Facebook, right? Of course, once in a while it just gets out, but otherwise generally it's quite a relaxed place, just like a bar or mama shop. We just chill out there, and then so about connection, right? About different levels of connection. So in LinkedIn, you can do this more. You can actually go down to the next step, which is messaging the person, commenting, and then the next step is, once you all get a bit more friendly comments, you comment regularly, they are commenting back. Then you can go on to the next step, which is messaging, right? And then they get deeper conversations in the personal messages, and then we can stop at that, or you can go again one level deeper. Again, one more step.
Wow, one more step. Okay.
Yes.
This is interesting.
So, of course, the whole idea of real networking is a face-to-face meeting. Okay, that's when you really network. You really connect with someone. You really see the facial expressions. You see the the smiles, the laughs, the frowns. You can know what's really going on. Okay, so you can go one step after the messaging and all. You can actually get on a call. You can talk further. There's something to converse further, and then of course eventually we want to try to meet up. That's the next level. That's the fourth level lah. Okay, so when I say social networking, this is what exactly I mean by real networking. Not just sticking to the high and buy, or let's say if I'm so famous, I just keep posting and a lot of people like. That's not really networking. It's just you're just being a famous person, but otherwise people are not connecting with you, and you are also not connecting with the people individually. All right.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of networking, right? So, in other words, our audience here, let me put it in other contexts as what Vyasa has already mentioned. We got 4 levels. The first level, interacting by commenting. Then you drop them a private message, exchange thoughts. That's the second level. Third level is where you arrange a call or a virtual one if you can. And then the fourth level is really get to know them in person by meeting them face to face, right?
Yeah.
And the whole essence of it is really about building a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
exactly.
yeah, and for those of you here, especially you have already heard our first part of it. The starting. What was something that you like? In all these 4 levels. Can you just share with us in the comments? What have you done? 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you done all 4, or have you just done 1 or 2? Or you barely even started? It's okay, it's a safe space. Our comments here will just be between us. So feel free to comment there. What have you done? 1, 2, 3, 4, or you just done either 1 or 2? Up to you. Then let us know. Right. So that was very interesting to have 4 levels, step by step, connecting with someone. Okay. Obviously, Facebook Live qualifies this as third level. Post CMCO, we can do 4th level.
Yeah, exactly. Like, today, actually, like, for example, we are connecting. I'm seeing you face to face. And I'm also finding out about you. Like example, what are you really doing? You're doing people coaching. Previously, you were, from the IT side, you were supporting, you're doing banking and all those things. So that's interesting for me to know, because otherwise I'll just know Jeffro as Jeffro, this cool looking dude. And that's it, you see. Nothing else I know about you. But today I know you a little bit more. I get to know you, what your dreams are, your passion, the area of work you're doing. And of course, during this conversation today, I believe I'm going to get to know you a lot more. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we're going to get to know each other even more, I think, throughout this series of questions. And again, our audience here as well, feel free to just toss in questions, anything at all related to either social networking or professional networking if you want to. I'm going to be covering more on professional networking because I think it's more relevant.
Okay.
Simply because I have some friends who have this particular thought on, I don't know whether it's the right time to network. I should be focused on my work and not network on the outside. But I
That's a
have
very interesting question. Yeah.
right. So that's why I want to get your thoughts about this because problem is with friends. I can tell them they were like, oh yeah, that's what you say, right? Is anyone else saying that? Okay, now this is a chance where my friends get to hear from someone else saying that.
Right. Okay, so
Right.
I also like to know, right, from our friends here in the audience, what social media are you active in? So if you're in IG, you just let us, comment there IG. If you're in Facebook, comment there Facebook. If you're in LinkedIn, comment there LinkedIn. So let's hear it. Let's hear this so that we know, and then we can tune it a little bit more towards, your area. Okay, and if you are in TikTok, then you just say TikTok too. Okay, so it's very
Yeah.
interesting times. Yeah.
While waiting for them to write in, we have a few friends saying hello. We have Julius saying hello. We have Adrian, Y Yin as well.
Oh, okay. Hi, Adrian, Wayne, and Julius. Right.
Yes. And Sui says Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Okay, very good. Very good. Facebook is
Right.
actually a good platform. Yeah. In fact, in during this time, I have seen a lot of people posting a lot of good things. For example, like this live chat that you're having is in Facebook, FB Live. So it is a good platform. I can see a lot of people sharing, very authentic stuff. People that are very in the background normally, now they're coming to the foreground, sharing things and all. There's a lot of things to find out, learn from each other and all. So it's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have someone, Ravi Damendra.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Saying hello to us as well. I think that's great. Keep coming in. Say hello. We'd love to give you a shout out. Jason said, "Don't type when people are talking." Well, I was actually helping to illustrate a point.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
sorry for that. If you feel that that was strange, but just to let you know, I do care about all your comments. So keep that coming on.
Right.
Sui says, for some strange reason, I seem to be attracting a lot of weirdos.
Okay, that's interesting. Well, uh, sometimes women tend to attract, people who are in this category lah. Sometimes it's not. I'm not just generalizing there. You just have to ignore some. When it comes to social life, there'll be always some weirdos. Typing something, commenting something, and all that. Just ignore them, and if they're too weirdos, too much of a weirdo, just unfriend them. I get that sometimes. So it's just part of the being social, lah, and you can't stop, right? Anybody. So sometimes you just have to ban them or block them. You just gotta do that, lah. No choice. It's an
Yeah,
open system, right?
true.
Hope that explains, Sui.
I hope that explains as well. What one particular thought that I have, and I realize a certain pattern. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vyasa. I think like Facebook, you mentioned is very social. That's
Yeah.
one thing. But I also realize there's this pattern. No, what I've seen in Facebook is there's a lot of sharing, but the ratio of the positive to the negative sharing seems to be a bit off balance. There seems to be like a 80% negative side, 20% people trying to put positive, but it gets flooded by other negative side. But on LinkedIn, I tend to see a very high rate of a lot of positive, uplifting stuff. Success stories, rates, the things that they can do, case studies and stuff. Right? Am I getting that a right read on that?
Yeah, approximately. That's about right, lah. What you said is just about right, because LinkedIn, there's an unofficial way of posting things. Okay, things like rants generally not accepted by the community. People, when you do a rant in Facebook, you get a lot of comments and likes, and people commenting more, ranting more, and all that. But in LinkedIn, people just ignore that. So eventually, people just don't do that. People don't put, example, food posts, because you just don't get any comments or any likes, right? It's just the unspoken ethics that's going on there, lah. Unspoken rules. It's not like clearly stated in any place that this is not okay, but it's by the community. They're just not into that.
Yeah,
okay?
I truly believe that.
Yeah. So so LinkedIn is okay. Why people tend to hang out in Facebook? First thing is it's an easy place to hang out. You just got to be yourself. You want to rant, you rant. You want to talk about this politics, about these people not doing so well, or this government not doing so well. It's a safe place. Everybody comments. Of course, it's not like 100% safe. You cannot. There are still some big rules that stands. You cannot say things that instigate and all those things. But people, you can talk about food. You can talk about I had a bad day today, or I had a great cooking session today, and all those things. You're free, so you don't have to. You just have to relax in Facebook. You don't have to work hard to be on Facebook, right? So in LinkedIn, that's one of the reasons why people sort of subconsciously avoid being in LinkedIn, because you got to think a little bit. You got to post. It's a place where people tend to post more important things. So when you go there, you start to have to think a little bit harder on what you're going to post, and also who you're going to connect to, and all those things. Sometimes you just don't know what to do already, right? So people just subconsciously, they feel more comfortable in Facebook or Instagram, so they don't really go into LinkedIn lah. So that's the reason. Okay, so LinkedIn is left with that. So it's a lot more positive, and the negative tend to be weeded out slowly lah. That's what happens in LinkedIn.
Yep. And for those of you here, very interesting, because I personally have experienced this, right? I tend to now go more on LinkedIn simply because there are more things that I can actually pick up. Even some things that are casual there are more uplifting than the casual things that is on Facebook. So I personally prefer. One of the challenges that I've also seen people saying that, Jeff, I don't have anything to write about. How do I connect with people? Right. Okay. I don't have anything. Like, people see my LinkedIn is empty. It's basically boring. So I want to connect. What can I do? So Vyasa, what can you suggest? Someone at that particular stage, being a very starting new profile or an empty profile, what can they do?
Okay, so that's a good question, Jeffro, and it's believe me, what you said and what your friends said about LinkedIn is very, very common. So we can say, like, a lot of people, if you ask around, out of your 10 friends, maybe 7 or 8 of them are in LinkedIn, but they just are in LinkedIn without doing anything. Okay, it's very common. Okay, even I was like that also. I was in LinkedIn for a while, and then I was just not active at all, because Facebook is so much more interesting, and so on lah. So the thing with LinkedIn is it takes a little bit of time. Okay, first you got to know why you are in LinkedIn. Okay, the why part is the most important thing lah. So because if you're going to spend time on something new, and which is a little bit harder, you got to know the why part, because otherwise it won't sustain you. So the why is sometimes, like, for example, if you are graduate looking for a job, then it could be a place for you to, first of all, look out for the people out there who are potential employers, and then find out more, connect with them, and then, that's the same process that I shared earlier lah. We got to socially connect with them. Okay, so and then if you're in the corporate side, okay, a lot of people tend to get into LinkedIn only when they're about to be fired, or they are fired, and then they're out of a job, really, so that's when they say, oh yeah, I got to start posting in LinkedIn.
Yes.
Which is actually not a really good strategy, right? It's not a really good strategy. So because it's out of panic, so when you're panicking, it's not the best time to start posting things on LinkedIn. The best time to post on LinkedIn is when things are good for you. When things are okay, start posting. Don't waste time. Start building your palace, or your house when things are good, not when things are bad and then you start wanting to find shelter lah. Okay, so because originally LinkedIn was supposed to be for the CVs, posting your CVs, job. That was the original reason about 6 to 7 years ago. But a lot of things have changed in LinkedIn. Okay, so now when things are good, start posting. So if you are in a job, who knows, this is a good place to start networking with other people in other companies, among fellows, among the leaders in the industry and all that. So your position, it becomes a lot stronger than before. All right. So it's a good corporate side. If you're on the corporate side, I think LinkedIn is super important to build connections, to build network, and also to know what the other people in the industry are doing. All right. So you want to separate yourself from the pack. Now the third, if you're in the business world, traditionally when people were just posting CVs in LinkedIn, there's no place for a business person to be there. It's just a CV place and a headhunting, for headhunters or job companies, to look out for CVs. But today, LinkedIn has changed a lot, especially over the last 3 to 4 years. A lot of business people are there too. So business people, what they can do is they can actually start posting about their work. They start posting about the kind of projects they do. They start posting about the kind of problems they have solved, the kind of different kind of products they have. It's not a selling. You don't really sell straight away in LinkedIn. That's not a place. Okay, but it's a super place for B2B sales, especially, which is a lot harder. Okay, for example, right, in a normal B2B marketplace, right, to reach the person in charge. So let's say you need to speak to the project manager to sell your solution to that person, right? First of all, to get to the project manager itself, first you don't know the name of the person in the company. Second thing is, you want to get through the gatekeeper. Can I speak to the project, the project manager of, your this thing, and I don't really know the name, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to let you, pass through so easily, especially if they are higher up in the decision making, where they can make a decision on your sales. They're not going to let you in simply. Whereas in LinkedIn, it's an open marketplace. You can know, let's say the company ABC, you want to see the project manager in this level. It's all open. It's clear. In fact, they are the ones who are posting things and all that. And, it's like an open gate, where you can connect. So it's up to you what you want to do to connect to that person. So for example, I would always say start by finding out who this person is, what their interest is. You can find out a lot of it in their profiles. Second step, again, do the same step, which is connect, comment to them first, just chit chat. That's called casual chit chat. Building the, breaking down the ice, breaking down the barriers. Starting to communicate with each other. Third step, message them directly, but not so fast in LinkedIn. You don't simply first step connect and then straight away start messaging, hey, you want to buy this? Straight away they are put off already, right? So this is the proper step by step way to get connected to someone and even possibly sell to something. So in fact, they said in US and all, a big portion of business actually gets B2B business, right, gets done through LinkedIn, right? So if
Yeah.
you do it the right way. So in Malaysia, again, there's a huge opportunity. In fact, I've done business through LinkedIn also
Oh
inside.
wow.
Yeah, and it takes a little bit of time, uh, trust building and all. All this is the same process anywhere, except you don't have to go through so many gatekeepers to reach the right person.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
And I feel that because LinkedIn has most people will just post up their position. So if they are
yeah,
HR manager or if they are the product manager, the business development manager, it's already there. So you can just connect with them and slowly build that relationship with them.
yes, correct.
Uh,
That's
that
right.
that's a so I want to expand on one part because earlier we're talking about LinkedIn used to be a part where it used to be upload your CV, people come and recruit you kind of thing, and
Yeah,
I feel that at some part of it this stigma still stays, like people are,
yes,
especially if you're not looking out, but
yeah,
the idea when I tell people you know what, even if you're not looking out, you should start connecting, build up yourself in the LinkedIn space, uh, and so that you can learn from other people, because there
yeah,
may be someone else out there who is in the same position, may have already gone through that case study and is posting something like that. But if you don't do that, you're not going to get that information. And often what I get, the response is, yeah, because if I start building my profile up there and someone else see, they think that I want to jump ship.
right. When
is
you
that,
say
that
jump
that's
ship, you mean jump to a different company, lah.
yeah, like
Oh,
I'm planning to start resigning and looking for a job. That's why I beautify my LinkedIn. And I think that is a stigma still within some people who are not familiar with the LinkedIn platform. What do
yes.
you think about it?
Okay. I get what you mean lah, about this part. Actually, today the world in LinkedIn is totally changed. A huge amount of change has gone through in LinkedIn, and it's no more that place where you post CV. So, just hear me out, right? It's very clearly not a place to post. Of course, you can. Again, you don't post CVs there. You post yourself there, right? So LinkedIn is still a place, but today a lot of things have changed. People show a lot of their work. They connect with people. They actually share information. There's a lot of crazy deep information you can find in LinkedIn. I was just blown away with the kind of information out there. For example, like termination, right? You don't talk a lot about termination on your Facebook, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So, but it's a big topic, especially right now. Termination, in terms of, like, what employers should and shouldn't do. What employees should know about termination or unlawful termination. Those things are
Mm.
very widely spoken by experts in LinkedIn.
Oh,
Okay, very
wow,
clearly, and then
wow.
people ask questions, and then there's a lot of question and answers going on. There's a lot of sort of like back and forth things that are very clear. For example, if you're in engineering, this tunnel digging lah, very specific. This I use this kind of machines. So it is quite deep, the conversations there. So you can actually get a lot of information and then connect with these thought leaders, and then they are actually very, very friendly, and they actually respond. Because some people say it's a lonely world in LinkedIn. It's not. People actually connect with each other, and they talk about things, serious stuff and all.
Yes. And I've learned quite a fair bit. I mean, in this period of time, this probably 8 weeks that I've been more active on LinkedIn because clearly there's barely much to do elsewhere, right? And I realized that there are so many things, like what you mentioned, the termination. There are also people talking about like image. How do you
Yes,
how do you put yourself professionally, especially right now we're in virtual sessions? How do you keep a professional image still, and yet not burden yourself too much of like putting up all this suit and stuff.
correct,
There are
correct.
ways of going around it. And it
Yes,
all starts with like what Vyasa was saying. Step number one, you go in, you see a post, just comment, or drop a like at least, connect with that person at the first stage and then slowly build it up. I think that's a wonderful 4-step procedure, but it's not as easy as, now I
yes,
comment, then I drop my inbox, then I ask for a
yes.
call, and then I want to meet up.
Yeah. If not, everybody will be doing that lah.
Yeah, I mean, you would know whether someone else would be comfortable by seeing the interaction. If there is a few exchange of messages, then you take it to the next level.
True.
Right?
True. Very true.
It happens in person. And personally, I feel that what you have mentioned so far is so good to start right now because number one, all of us here are so comfortable behind the screen because we don't have to see the other person. And if you don't get into this practice, when you come out of this CMCO thing, it's even harder to just tell a person and comment on their things, right? There is no, people don't carry out their posts everywhere. Please comment here or connect with me.
Correct. Absolutely. In fact, this is a very good time to those people. A lot of people are actually becoming a little bit more active in social media, so it's a good time to connect with them. At least because you don't have their phone numbers and all that, so you can actually, like you said, they're coming out, so you can actually connect with them in their posts and all that. It can be in FB, it can be in in LinkedIn, and also even in Instagram.
Yep. And speaking of connecting, for those of you here who are with us, let's connect. Say hi. Drop a hello. That's your first thing to do. Drop a hello so that we can connect with you as well. This is the starting point. We have a few saying hello. Wesley said hi. Christine says hi. Julius is dropping some really nice words. Social networking is to grow our social capital. Wow. Very, very strong, powerful words.
Yes.
Yeah. So do drop us hellos, and then connect with us, because again, if you like to know how to be socially successful, this is your starting point, and then we will show you the rest of the way. Okay. So we've covered, how can someone really kickstart their social networking. Is there any particular things that they should be aware of? Earlier we talked about don't straight away write up sell. But if they are not in that position, is there any other things that they should be aware of or they should prepare before just commenting to sort of add value to build a better relationship upfront?
Okay. So again, when you meet people, because you are meeting strangers, right? They are strange. You are a stranger to them, okay, and so likewise, they are also a stranger to you, right? So you want to give the best impression, the first impression. So of course, you want to have. How do we have an impression? Like now we are seeing each other. Is how we dress up, for example, I don't come to the show all with a whole beard hanging around, unshaven and all those things. So I need to be pleasant to you and also to the rest of the friends here because they are seeing me for the first time. So I cannot look so unpleasant. Of course, my botak head and all just like that lah. All right. So it's just like this. So you try to give your best image. So in the social media, for example, in LinkedIn and all, the best way to have a good social, good image to meet people is your profile. Okay, that is your clothes that you wear and how you look. So of course you want to do, if you have just written just a few words and all, it looks very you look unkempt, or you just you don't care much about yourself. Of course, if you're a celebrity and all that, you can write anything you want in your profile, that's fine. But if you are a stranger and people don't know you and then you are approaching somebody else, you want to look the best you can during the meet, right? So when people see a comment and all, say, hey, who this Jeffro guy is? He just commented on something on my post. Yeah, let's check him out. So what I'll do is I'll just go and I won't say a lot of things to you yet, because I want to know who is Jeffro first. So what will I see? I don't have any other proof except first thing I will say is I will see your profile in LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, the profile means a lot of things. It's actually your image, unspoken image lah. So how you write your profile and all carries a lot of weight. So you don't have to look super good or dress super good, but you can take a little bit of time to dress up your profile a little bit. It's all about just some writing, putting some good content and all that, so people know you. Okay. So then the next thing is, of course, what you post also means something. So that is second level. So if they want to go deeper, they will check some of your posts. Is this guy always complaining about something, or does he write some useful things? He shares some useful things. He shares some useful articles. That means you don't have to be the best writer. Sometimes you can just share a simple article from somewhere else you found in the internet, and then say, I found this article very nice because da 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 da. Enough. You don't have to be a brilliant writer. You don't have to be a brilliant copywriter. So that's what people have the image that, I have to be really a good writer, to think a lot, come up with some superb kick-ass posts and all that. And that's why I'm not in LinkedIn. So it's not like that, you just get on and, just start some simple stuff. There's just ABC stuff. You don't have to go on to the, the doctorate stuff lah in LinkedIn.
Right. And language, is there a particular language preference in LinkedIn? Because more professional, does it mean that if someone is not really good in English, then they can't contribute? So what would your advice be in terms of like the language usage?
Okay, that's a very good question. Okay, it's not generally in LinkedIn people speak in English. Everybody, right? They speak in English. Of course, like you can always speak a little bit of BM, Bahasa Melayu and all, but generally the whole network speaks a lot of English. But that doesn't mean that you need to be really good in English. No. In fact, most people who can speak decent English, and that's fine already. Okay, and some more you're not speaking, as in like how we are doing right now. You are just writing. Okay, so the good part of writing is you can always compose your words first and then post it. Today there are a lot of things in the internet that can help you check your grammar before you post something. Okay, for example, Grammarly, it's actually a free thing in Google, in Chrome. You can find it, Grammarly, Grammarly. Okay, they check your grammar for free, so you can just type it down, type out what you have in mind, and then Grammarly will help to check your grammar, and then you just correct it a little bit and then post it. That's it. It's posting something is, yes, that's the one.
Yep.
Posting something is better than not posting at all. So that means you don't have to be the best, most well-written English thing post in the whole of LinkedIn. No, you just have to post something. It's all about intent, what you have in mind and what you need to post. People actually can see beyond your writing and see your intent more than your, some of the small mistakes you do in grammar. In fact, some of the people, because they are so clear, they want to actually share something so clearly, and sometimes there are some grammar mistakes. People are really okay with it. Yeah, it's really.
I have a confession to make. For those of you here, if you like to hear this confession, please bear with me. So I think I speak okay English, and that's what people perceive as well. But the thing is, I'm not really that good in writing. So I remembered one of my posts that I put it up. There were people liking it, eventually lah. It wasn't instant. But then it took a while. Like I think about a few days later, a friend of mine actually said, you know what? There's actually a grammar mistake on that.
Right.
And and then I went back and see it. It's like for me, it's a huge thing because it's a word that is really wrong in that sentence.
Okay.
But what I really like about that is that no one actually pointed that out, and in fact, people were supportive about the message, like what you mentioned, that intent and support. I felt like really nice that people were just looking at the content itself, the message, rather than the nitty-gritty stuff.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
At some part, I feel that it's safer to put up stuff there, and people kind of enjoy, and it's maybe even better than at work where some bosses are even gonna scrutinize that you're missing a period.
Yes, that's right. People are generally quite polite in LinkedIn lah. So of course, like you want to try to do your best, and then sometimes you just check with things like this, like Grammarly and all, and then sometimes friends who are also quite nice enough to check for you. Said you can always check with some friends. Hey, how does this post look like? Everything's okay. all good, and there are a lot of friends like that, who are really nice people who are willing. But you just do a little bit of work, correct it as much as possible yourself first, and then you post it out. So then, people tend to have a good impression of you. To answer your question again, like, you don't have to be the most perfect, really perfect in English before you start writing in LinkedIn lah. Generally, English is the language that is spoken in LinkedIn.
I think that's one interesting part. And one of the other things that I want to get your thoughts about this. For working professionals, especially people who are in managerial levels, and they are busy right now. So their thoughts is that I should be more focused on my work, or even the people. Should I even bother doing professional networking at this point of time? Or should I wait for a later time to do it? So what are your thoughts about this?
Okay, so like the first thing is, if you're busy, congratulations. That means you are having a job, and today a lot of things are uncertain for a lot of people, right? So again, if you're busy, it's good. But don't wait till you're not busy to start networking, because networking is important. I'm just talking about just normal networking. You don't have to network through LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is a very powerful platform for networking, but you can network, in other meetings. So if you have less time to network, then again, LinkedIn is a very powerful place while you can network while you're at home, while you're anywhere, right? So the thing is, people often make this big mistake, okay? And the mistake is this: when you're busy, you have a job, you're not networking. You're so busy until you're not, and you don't have time to network, or you don't put a little bit of time to network. So now, when are they not busy? Right? So sometimes when you don't have a job, okay, but that is not the right time to start networking, because you have a sense of desperation during that time. Hey, I need a job, and it's speaking all out from you. You see, all the time. So that is not the best time to network. The network is when you're already having a job. Use that energy to network and go further some more. Don't wait till you're out of a job and you're not busy to start networking. So again,
I think that's profound. Yeah.
Again, the thing is, if you're so busy, then the best networking is if you meet people, you connect with them face to face and all that. But if you're super busy, then LinkedIn is a great place to network, because you can network without at the comfort of your own home, and that's the interesting thing about LinkedIn. So don't wait till you're not busy to start networking. I would say very strongly I would say that very strongly, before and even now. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And for those of you here, if you found all this really, really helpful so far, let us know. Put it in the comments. Even better if you can give us a like. Share this out so that other people get to learn the power of networking right now, the benefits that you can do, and why you should really start now instead of waiting till everything goes back to normal. Which reminds me, saying normal. So even I sometimes say this way, right? It goes back to normal. But I think moving forward, I don't think there's any normal about it. I think if it's anything, it's going to be abnormal.
And the abnormal is going to be the new normal. So it's just that I think there are a lot of things which will be somewhat like before, but there'll be also a lot of change in the way we do things. Okay, for example, in the training business, for the training, for face-to-face training to pick up, it will take a bit of time. It will eventually pick up, I would say. I still believe in it, but I think if you don't do anything in the meantime, things can go bad, or you can actually just lie super quiet for a while. Is a simple thing is like, this COVID is not going to go off in another 2 months or another 1 month after the CMCO is out. It's still going to be hanging around somewhere, lurking around and all that. Just like in Korea, everything's back to normal. Things are back in business, and suddenly just this one person goes around into a few bars, and already 40 people are 40 people are having this infected, and that is right now. And what they anticipate is 7,000 people are going to come out from just this one individual. They're expecting about 7,000 new cases. So, like it or not, I think there's no time until the point of time where there's this vaccine going to be produced. It is going to be around. It's going to be hanging around. It's going to be, just chilling out everywhere. From time to time, it will attack somebody, and then, and a group of people will have it. So there's also people are going to be a bit extra safe, and they want to play it safe. So eateries are going to be different. Training is definitely going to be different. People learning things is going to be different. Networking is going to be different. So it's not the norm lah, like you said it's not going to be normal again. So we have to adapt to all these things, and then again we can still as long as we have the intent and then know why we want to do it, we can always use whatever that means that around lah for networking. For example, you want to do networking now, but you can't really meet people, so what can we do? Well, LinkedIn is a good place to start with.
Yeah, and I think it's safe, right? So it doesn't interfere with your personal life. Like, you don't have to worry about them seeing your food, your pet, or anything else. You let them see the things that you want them to see, which is the professional part, and of course your thoughts. So I also realize this when I go on LinkedIn, my thought process changed a little bit. I have to be a little bit more proper. So when I type messages to people on LinkedIn, it's as if I'm going to send them an email to a client or to a boss or to a stakeholder kind of thing.
Right. In fact, although we talk about LinkedIn as very professional and all that, right? After some time, when you feel a bit more comfortable, you can actually post more home things. For example, like even like a picture with your cat and all. So the thing is, like, you have a very you talk a lot about work, business and all that, but eventually people want to see your personal side also, right? So they are okay, for this one-off time pictures of something, or sometimes something you cook and all. They are very okay about it as long as that is not the bulk of what you share lah.
Yes. I kind of agree on that as well, because imagine if LinkedIn is a professional network basis. If you don't already know, you have to get on it, because at least you have a network of professionals. Facebook is a mesh of everything. So you have professionals, you have your friends, auntie, uncle, and all that. So they may not be interested in seeing what you have to write about work, but they are very interested in seeing your cats, your plants, your cooking.
Yes, exactly.
On LinkedIn, is the other way around. So they want to see this, but they want to see the more of the work substance. What makes you professional, right? So that's the whole idea. What makes you professional, and why should I also sort of connect with you when you comment on my things?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
So very, very, very interesting. And yeah, wow. Look at it. We're almost like an hour in already. For those of you here with us, I just want to acknowledge all of you here. I thank you for joining us. But I want to hear what questions do you have about social or professional networking in this sense? Are there any concerns from your end? Are you stuck somewhere, or do you need certain advices on how to improve your networking skills? Type it here. Let us know what are the things that is going through with you. And we can sort of address that as well. You're in luck, because Vyasa has done 40 plus over Facebook Lives. So he knows a thing or two about networking. And if you don't already know, if you don't already know, he has also interviewed Dato Nico David, right? So that to me is like, wow, prestigious. Again, I'm more prestigious because I get to interview the person who interviewed her.
Well. Jeffro, I think what you're doing here, right, is super. Because, like, first of all, like, I hope Facebook, doesn't get so angry with us for talking about LinkedIn and all at this point of time.
We're using this platform by
Okay,
talking about
so
something else over.
yeah, exactly, man. So, you're actually sharing this thing to all your set of friends out there about a totally different thing. A change of mind, a change of place to be in, and all that. So you are actually an agent of change. Okay, I'm just a person in your interview, but you're actually sort of influencing a lot of people about another place that they can be active in, and also increase their sort of increase their well-being in terms of the corporate side, in the business world, and all. So otherwise they would not know the deeper side of what you are trying to share. Okay, so you are actually playing and to be an agent of change lah, actually what you're doing right now.
Thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah, you are.
Right. So we're seeing. I think our friends are a little bit shy in terms of the
Yeah.
question. Oh wait. There is actually one. How do you find people that you need to find? Wow, that's like a very inception question, Missy Meow. How do you find
Okay.
people that you need to find?
In LinkedIn?
I would think
Okay,
on
in
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yeah.
Yeah.
So because in Facebook you don't really post that Vyasa corporate business head or something like that. You don't do that in Facebook, right? So you people just know for example, just Vyasa. But in LinkedIn, normally you will say like X, ABC Vyasa Kandasamy, CEO of this one, done this, all this, the background is there, right? So in LinkedIn, there's actually a very, very powerful search function where you can actually search for people according to what you want. For example, you're selling, for example, a B2B solution, and you need to talk to the HR person, right? And in particular, let's say the HR manager in charge of comp and ben, compensation and benefits. So it's very, very specific, right? You can definitely not find it in Facebook, but in LinkedIn, you can actually just search for a very simple compensation and benefits, for example, manager. And then you can actually search for Selangor, or you can search for in KL. So it gets even more specific. So then it'll be listed all the compensation and benefits HR managers, HR compensation and benefit managers under the HR function. So you can actually search, and then you can start connecting with them one by one. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. So LinkedIn has got a very, very powerful search function. Yeah.
And I agree. Just to expand on what Vyasa has mentioned, that's a filter that you can look at titles. You can look at locations. You can even look by certain industry or certain sectors that you want to actually explore in. And
Exactly, yeah.
I find that very, very useful. That's how I found some friends who are in the people and culture environment as well. And I
Right.
love it because I would have not found them on Facebook. No one posts that thing on Facebook.
Yeah, you're not going to write down your posts and what you do in the company and all that in Facebook. Like, generally, that's not the accepted. Again, it's not the accepted norm in Facebook, right?
Yep. So I hope that answers your question, Missy. Are there any other questions coming from anyone else? Right. So we want to welcome. If you want to learn more, don't get me wrong. Facebook can also do a lot of powerful things. I found a lot of amazing people, pages and groups as well. You can actually do that. You just need a little bit more time in searching, because right now one particular search key on Facebook gives you everything else. Sometimes a little bit more than what you ask for.
Right.
Yeah. Sui asks, let me just put it up here. Sui asks, so is LinkedIn a better platform for social networking compared to Facebook?
All right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, I would never say that. So thanks, Sui, for your question. Right. first of all, I think it's got different purposes. So if you want to just chill out, relax, I think you shouldn't leave out Facebook. Facebook is still a great place to chill out, relax. Get some news, what's going on in the community, and all those things. What people are talking about, what is, what are people doing right now, what your friends are doing. That's a great place. So LinkedIn is not a sort of better place to be in, but I think you should spend a little bit of time on LinkedIn. So thanks Sui, right, for your question. So the first thing is, I think when people ask, how can I get started with LinkedIn, first step is just have your intent very clear. Why do you want to be in LinkedIn? Okay, that's the first question. For example, you want to start networking a little bit, find out what's going on in LinkedIn, start connecting with some people in the industry. For what purpose? For your betterment lah, for you to do a little bit better, connect to people from your own house. Okay, that's the first thing. So the thing to get started with LinkedIn is, I would say, not jump in straight away and abandon Facebook. Okay, that's not the right way to do things. As you can see, I'm still on Facebook. I just started with just spending 5 to 10 minutes a day on LinkedIn. So let's say if I'm using 1 hour of Facebook time, okay, and believe me, a lot of people are actually spending a lot more than 1 hour in Facebook, right? So if you just take out 10 minutes from that 1 hour, or let's say 1.5 hours, 10 to 15 minutes, and you just put it into LinkedIn. So you're just taking off a little bit of the social media time and putting it into LinkedIn, and then you start going in, finding out a little bit more, and then you can start finding out about good practices to be in LinkedIn. For example, how to write your profile better, how to post better, and how to connect to people more. That you can start a little bit by little bit, but start with just putting a little bit small percentage of the time, let's say 15 to 20% of the time of what you spend on social media, spend on LinkedIn, and that's it. Don't abandon whatever you have in Facebook and LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is not like a better place to be compared to Facebook or Instagram. It's not like that, because every one of these medias has got different purposes. Some are just to chill, and as human beings, we just want to chill sometimes, not talk about work or business. And in some places you want to talk about business and stick to that. So you got to just mix up, and then eventually you can spend a little bit more time in LinkedIn. I hope
All right.
that answered your question, Sui.
Yeah, I hope that answers. I think that's a very clear segregation, knowing which platform that, and the purpose of the platform, number one, and number two, just putting a little bit of time here and there, balance it out, and then you will see which one is the one that fits you more based on what you want to achieve. So that's great. We have a follow-up question from Missy Meow, and she asks, let's say you want to find people to do talks for your industry. How do you find experts who will do talks? Wow.
Okay, so this is very specific to example, let's say live interviews or okay, you should ask Jeffro this question also.
Oh.
So for example, I think again, LinkedIn is a great place to find people like this. You can first check them out. You can find out what they're posting on, because it's related to work, right? So you want to talk about people who are talking, experts in your industry, correct? So you can actually check, for example, let's say you're talking about finance. Okay, so you can actually check out about people in finance in the LinkedIn and see what they're talking about. Some of them are actually speakers in this industry. They are, you can even see from the profile itself, they speak for this. For example, if you want to talk about experts in Bitcoin, for example, right? You can actually find experts and speakers on Bitcoin in LinkedIn. It's not limited to the normal corporate thing. So, and then you can actually check out, don't just see the title. You can check out what they actually post, what are the articles they're writing about, and see whether these people actually make sense or they're just talking rubbish. Okay, so you can check them all out, and then finally, if you find that this person ABC, Mr. ABC is looks really good, then you can write into them. You can message them, and speakers are always looking for opportunities to speak in different platforms. So it's quite easy to look for people in LinkedIn if you want to find people. Missy Meow. Your name is Missy
Yeah.
Meow. Wow, that's a cool
That's
name.
a nickname, I guess.
Okay.
Now, okay. She has another question. I think this is
Sure.
a very very interesting one. I
Okay.
think it's also very valid. Let me just bring it up. When you're a nobody, how do you approach someone who is very important to talk in your LinkedIn?
Right. Okay.
Ah,
Okay, that's a very good question, Missy Meow. Right, you're asking some really good, deep questions, right? Okay. Uh, First of all, I think people need to trust you, not just suddenly out of the blue you're asking them, right? They need to build trust. For example, let's say Jeffro is the star in, the guy you want to get him to speak on, and let's say I am not a nobody, right? In sort of in LinkedIn, and I want to get Jeffro to speak in my platform, whichever platform I have, either physical or in on on a live interview or whatever, right? So the thing is, first of all, I need to first build some trust with Jeffro, right? So first, when I asked him, let's say if I directly go and ask him, you can do that, but you also have a chance of being rejected also, right? No harm asking anyway. But the thing is, a better way to approach is like, build your own profile also. Be in LinkedIn, you can always, there's always some good in yourself. There's always some, the fact that you want to get, let's say, Jeffro to speak with you, that means you have some credibility somewhere. And that's why you're asking him to speak on your platform. First of all, you have some credibility itself. So speak about that in your own post, in your own profile first. And then second thing is start connecting to Jeffro from his post first. Hey, Jeffro, hey, nice article here. What is it about? Da da da. And then post number two, you do some comments. And after some time, Jeffro will be thinking, who is this person, Missy Meow, who's always commenting on my posts? Some really good comments she's commenting, and not just like nice, awesome. She's commenting some really thoughtful questions that I need to answer carefully. Then after some time, you can actually write to him, hey, uh, Jeffro, I've been following your post quite a bit. It seems very interesting. Would you actually like to speak on my platform? Okay, for this particular topic, I would love to have you on board. Just like that, and people do actually come in when you're sincere, and
mm-hmm.
you also don't sell yourself short. Be on your side, you got to be prepared with everything. Do your profile well, make it tip top, and make it sharp, and even your post needs to be sharp also to give Jeffro a good impression. For him, would you want to come in, Jeffro, after doing all of this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
as in, because you showed interest, number one.
Yeah.
I think the biggest part is when you show interest into someone, and not just because I want him to speak because he's someone big, and if he does, then I'll be famous, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
showing interest by firstly acknowledging that the other person has something to contribute to you, which you
yeah,
mentioned earlier. I'm writing down this note as well. First of all, important to have your own profile. Second thing is when you comment on someone else, you're not just
yeah,
saying, "Hey, hi, nice picture," and all that. You give valuable comments in terms of, hey, you know what? I like that thought process. I love
right.
this idea. I want to hear more about it, and then slowly ease into, I'd love to have you on my show. Would that be a good idea? And that shows a lot of interest in really building that connection and also adding value.
Yes, exactly. And I think Sui here also said, Missy Meow, I'd suggest to build rapport first, right? Yeah, so I think that's a very good point. Exactly. It's important to build the rapport first, at least a little bit before you invite the person. Lah. Good point there,
Mm.
Sui.
Yeah, fantastic point. And yeah, for those of you here with us, if you're learning something really good, just type in a comment. Just say yes so that we know that we are giving much value. That would also encourage us to do more of this. And yeah, that's one thing you can do. Second thing is, drop a like for this this video itself, this live series. Share it out because we have some really amazing question that just came in here. We're looking for more, and hopefully that answers some of the things that you have already asked, Missy Meow and Sui as well. We want to hear from other people as well, if there's any other thing before we wrap up, because we've already passed 1 hour mark. So at this point of time, I'm an advocate that people should start tuning down, wind down, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have any questions, put it in. While Vyasa is still really alert.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So
Very good questions.
I love these questions. I think Missy Meow says great tips. Thank you so much.
You're very
Thank you so
welcome,
much.
Mr. Meow. Very welcome. So hope it helps. I'm looking forward to see your interviews soon.
Yes. I'd love to hear from Missy Meow as well. And in fact, do come back and then share with us. If you can apply the things that we've shared. What are the results that you've gotten? That would be even better, right? And yeah, so we're almost reaching to the end already. In fact, it's past the 60-minute mark. What I want to actually encourage all of you here to do is do check out Vyasa's live interviews. If you want to know what are the things that he has covered, how he actually got started as well. I think there were a lot of series. When I looked at it, there were easily more than 40 plus videos there, plenty of things that you can actually pick up. And let me just put it up on screen so that you know where you can actually access this. So I've put it into a bit.ly. It's bit.ly Vyasa Live. So it's the series that you will see. Everything. Datuk Nicole is there, Freda Liu, my mentor, Wesley, a lot of thought leaders are there. So you can actually see different views. And there are a lot of things that he has learned. Maybe I could actually ask Vyasa, what is the one profound thing that you've learned so far, from interviewing all these legends?
Well, I think I can't narrow it down to one profound thing. It's just that I think, maybe if it has to be just one sentence, it is they are deeply involved in what they do, which is lovely, they are so deep into their own fields. And I think hearing for me on my side, hearing it from them coming out from their own mouths, it's so interesting and so it's real, it's authentic, it's what they do and who they are. So it's beautiful actually when you see them, speaking. They're speaking from not a theoretical point of view, but from hard knocks. They have done all the knocks, they have done all the knocks. And when you hear it from them directly, and you feel very moved by what they share. For example, for Dato' Nicole, she's 9 years in a row world champion. 9 years. It's not easy, first of all, to be a world champion once, but she's been doing that for 9 years, and that is definitely a feat. So how did she do it? The mental toughness you need to have. It's real, it's really there. And yet, they share it in a very, very humble way. For example, Dato Jake, he's actually the managing director of Faith Malaysia, formerly Groupon. So he shared, because he said, I asked him, this is a tough time right now because, they have, I think, close to 300 over staff and, big building. At this time, you'll have a big headache because you have a lot of headcount and every day. And then you're also dealing with a lot of clients. For example, all the vendors, the food vendors, right? They are all at the point of time where, the business can break down at this point of time. So not only your own company, you have also so you know what he said? He said, Vyasa, I'm born and raised in Sentul. So I'm a Sentul boy. What do you think? I was born tough. And so it's very interesting because each one of them had a, very, very interesting story to share. Frida Liu, for example, she's been in BFM for really long, and she herself has interviewed so many interesting personalities, right? And did you know that fact that, she wrote 5 different books already? So frequently we don't really know what have they accomplished behind the scenes, but she's an accomplished writer, by her own right. Yeah, and she has interviewed some really, really like famous people, like the Prince of Wales and all. So
Wow. Yes.
every one of them have a beautiful story to share, and that's why I am energized each time I talk to someone. So it's that's sort of like, there's a lot of work to prepare, as Jeffro, right? How much of work you have done before and after the show to do
Mm-hmm.
this interview for every single person, right? There's a lot of work to do, prepare. You got to think what's the angle. I must, for all your friends of Jeffro, I need to tell you this so that you know how hard he's working to get this interview done. There's a lot of things to do because he needs to prepare. He needs to prepare the speaker. He needs to tell them. Discuss with them what are the angles. It's not just a live show, just immediately like this right now. So it can get tiring sometimes, but there's also a benefit where there's a lot of personal development that happens even during the interview, because you learn a lot of new things, and the people you interview are just super wonderful people. They have so many amazing stories to tell from real life, not theory, real hard, real hard school of hard knocks lah.
Mm,
Very
mm.
interesting.
Yeah, and as you can tell, this itself can go on and on if we're just going to
Yeah.
talk about this part. So I highly recommend you again. If you want to know more about different stories, go to this Bitly Vyasa live. You will see a series of things. Just a disclaimer for all of you here. If you're going to watch this, just be prepared to be mind blown because there's so many things to take away. So you don't want to go in there when you only have 5 minutes, right? You want to go in there to fully prepare to absorb a lot of things, and it can get addictive. I know this because I went from one video to another video, and time flies. So very, very interesting. It can be a bit addictive. So be prepared. Just to let you know, don't say I didn't warn you, right? Again, we are going to wrap this up. For those of you here who are watching this or will be watching this as well, I want to really just appreciate you for being here. And so what I'll have for you here is I'm going to be able to help just a few of you here in terms of your networking skills, whether you're in a team or you want to do social networking outside. By outside, I mean actually online. So we're a CMCO, right? And if you're really keen on having that, what I encourage you to do is just type 5 in the comments so that I can reach out to you. I'll give you a free consultation on people management skills, networking skills that you can easily apply. And it doesn't matter whether you're a first timer or you're a seasoned networker, you just want to enhance. I do have a range of things that I can share with you, and it's absolutely for free. So if you're interested, just type 5. I'll reach out to you and I will share whatever I have with you.
Wow, that's such a good deal, man. I think, yeah, that's really a good thing you're doing, Jeffro. I think, friends, you should, take up that 5 that, Jeffro is commenting, comment the 5 and get at least some tips from him.
Yeah.
Well, he's
And
doing it.
definitely. And when I say a few, right, I really mean just 5 because I only have a limited amount of time.
Okay.
And also, most of us here are going to be very busy preparing to go back to office. If you're in rotation shift, there will be some differences in the way you talk, in the way you're going to communicate. So how do we do that? There are certain ways that I can share with you, tips, tricks, tactics, strategies. Well, you name it. We'll actually have that in that session itself. So 5 people, the first 5 or the 5 people that I can reach out to when you comment 5, I'll have that session with you.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, and for those of you here who have been with us, before we wrap up, I just want to hear from you. What is one thing that you have taken or you have learned from here? Please type in the comments. What are the things that you have learned, so that we know and we can take away. It's a good way to also see what are the things that matters to you most. Right, we will definitely be wrapping up. Thank you so much, Vyasa, for your generous sharing. That's a lot of things. I've also noted down some good reminders for myself, even though I've done a little bit. But it's good to know that this step-by-step thing that I can actually practice and also be reminded if I actually skip one step sometimes. You know, being eager and stuff, you might just skip one.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we're at the end of the segment. So we thank all of you here for being with us, especially if you have been from the start to the end. Really want to appreciate you, your time. You could have actually spent tonight not doing anything at all, but you're here with us for this 1 hour and 20 plus minutes, listening about professional networking and tuning in to two guys, one with a coffee mug. So yes, with that, we're gonna end this segment. Before we do, Vyasa, do you have any words of encouragement, or advice for our fellow friends here?
What I would say, well, I think you can start during this time. It's still going to be CMCO for a while. So just I know right now you should be a little bit more settled down. So take a little bit of time, and I think it's worth it. It's definitely worth it if you're in business or in a corporate or you're a graduate, to actually spend a small percentage of your time getting to know about LinkedIn. I strongly suggest that, even though I'm still very active in Facebook and all, I would say spend a little bit of time on LinkedIn, to build your network, to connect to the other side of things, the corporate side, the business side. A lot of things are also happening in LinkedIn. Get a little bit involved. And for Jeffro, thanks a lot for having me here. I appreciate it. I enjoyed talking to you, and some very good questions for your friends here in the audience, from Suyi, from Missy, Meow. Good questions, very good questions. I loved having them, answering their questions, and also to everyone who dropped in to say hi and to drop your like to this video interview. Thanks again. Okay.
Yep. And if any of you here would love to connect with Vyasa, reach out to him on Facebook, LinkedIn. Very, very easy. He's a very nice person, as you can tell already. So just drop him a hello and connect with him. There's so many things that you can basically learn from him. I know because I've learned a thing or two even without interacting with him. So can you imagine if you are connected with him? Right, there's just a lot of things to take away. All right, so without further ado, we're going to wrap up this session. Let's say bye to our friends. All right, bye and good night, everyone. We'll see you very, very soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.